Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the season finale, Season 18 of Low Fuel Motorsport, coming to an end tonight for the Pro Series. My name is Olaf, aka Bob's Racing, and I'll be your commentator for tonight, as we're going to be looking at the amazing circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, where the qualifying of 15 minutes will be starting right now, as the drivers are getting themselves ready to leave the pit lane. And before we go to the track, I actually want to go to the standings real quick before we head off to the action, because the standings are quite tight as it stands. Currently out on top is Sam Gaskell with 11,957 points, and right behind him Caracas, only 119 points behind him, so it's quite close out at the front. And because we have a double event today, which I'll explain in just a moment, we'll have a lot of action and a lot of opportunities for Gaskell to either take or lose the championship today here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuits. The rest of the standings cycling on through now. You can see how many races everyone has participated in, how many weeks counted as well, because we'll have a drop round as well. I think 2 drop rounds in total, where the lowest amount of points gets removed from your points total, meaning you'll have less points, so does everyone else. Your 2 worst results get dropped, just in case you can't make a race or 2. It's all to do with the inclusion of everyone. Before we head onto the track, after the standings, quickly want to show the results from last week out. They are not showing because that was a different different race. That's a different story. But here we are on the track. Caracas currently out in first on the qualifying. It's the out lap. The track is very long, so they'll have spent 2 minutes in the first 2 sectors. Now crossing that 3rd sector to get their lap in and set the qualifying grid for the first race, because we have a double race feature for this event. 20 minutes is going to be the first race, followed up by a 40-minute event. The point split is also as follows: 1/3 of the time raced means 1/3 of the points. The first place usually would get 1,400 points. Now you'll have to earn them in both races. Race 1, 560 points. Race 2, 840 points, totaling to a total of 1,400. But that's not everything. Finishing positions from race 1 will have the top positions reversed. The top 10 will be starting in a reversed order. So if you're finishing 10th, you'll be starting on pole position for race 2. Meaning that everything can still happen. And we've had plenty of double events with multiple different races, race winners from race 1 to race 2. And all has to do with the driver skill being so close together. And then all the drivers that maybe had a little bit of bad luck in race 1, getting absolutely shunted to the front of the grid and making the best out of it for the second race. That being said though, the rest is not counted out either. O'Sullivan currently in 3rd place, just 149 points behind the lead. And then Del Fonte in 4th, 159 points behind the lead of the championship, 10 points behind O'Sullivan. So it's quite tight at the top. 159 points separating the top 4. And the first best is Minar, who has a 1,411 point deficit. If you remember, P1, if you win both races, you get 1,400 points, meaning Minar would miss out by 11 points, meaning he is not eligible for the championship victory anymore. So it's between the top 4, Gaskell, Caracas, O'Sullivan, and Del Fonte. Currently looking at Caracas, the first driver to set a time, the first one to put something on the board as a benchmark for the rest. And between the races, I'll be noting down the points, trying to math my way through it to see if I can do that quickly between the races. And check if I can get our championship already up and running. But then again, the drop rounds are not factored in to my calculations. They might be already in the current standings, and they might not be. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait for the final results on that one. Caracas over the line at 2:15.4. Gaskell 2:15.2. I have seen 2:15.1s already. So we're just going to have to wait for that to pop down. As of now, Gaskell out in front with Caracas second, O'Sullivan third, Minar in fourth. Gonna have a look at what Del Fonte can do as he more times trickle over the line. Del Fonte currently 4th. These are the 4 drivers to watch. We'll have a little bit more screen time than usual, because this is the final round. The rest of the positions can change however they want to. These 4, Gaskell, Caracas, O'Sullivan, Del Fonte, fighting for the top prize, of course. So Del Fonte into 5th place. It's a 2:15.8. Caracas has already crossed the line. Will not be improving at all. Van Rossum currently looking for a good improvement through the first 2 sectors, is encountering a little bit of traffic. It's the number 15 car, that's Van der Meer. A little bit further ahead. Van Rossum currently 10th in the standings. Van der Meer is in 7th. Mind you, these standings, these positions are still to be played for. It's not over for anyone just yet to get some more places in the final results. And Van der Meer also improving quite well. Van Rossum maybe held back a tiny bit, but they are in the 2:16s. Which is not where you want to be. If you're a car in the top 10 of the standings, you don't want to be in that range. So Gaskell rounding out some corners, but not improving too much. They're a little bit... These guys are a little bit further behind on the track. You can see on the minimap on the right-hand side of your screen, the number 3 car is from Caracas. It's a blue car, meaning he has crossed the line and this lap will not be valid. The number 2 car right behind him, that is Gaskell. You can see the difference between the drivers on the left-hand side of your screen. The timing tower will have all the names and the numbers, and of course the lap times. As you can see, Caracas being 2/10 behind Gaskell's previous lap, a 2:16.2. As Van Rossum and Van der Meer both put in faster lap times. In the end, only Van Rossum able to overtake Van der Meer. It looks like someone else just jumped out in front, and that is Wasner in 4th place. The number 8 car. Great qualifying run there. So we look ahead to Gaskell, who has been setting purple times all over the board. Still is, as it stands. It's very bright and flashy on my screen. You can't see it, but I can. I might be able to pull up some more data. I'm not sure if I can. Let's see if that is possible. Can I do this? There we go. Now we can see the deltas of the drivers. It's not worth too much. Currently Gaskell just under a 10th faster. About equal at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Gonna pop it open to the session best relative. So Sullivan is up to 2nd place now. They 2:15.447. Drops within the 2/10 of Gaskell. And that was a good lap. Ramonet and the number 7 car on its way through the final chicane, a 2:16.5 to his name. He's got a big improvement. Was purple for quite a good amount of time there. Then drops it in P5. So losing a bit of time from the bus stop chicane. Gaskell on his way to defend the top of the timing sheet. The margins are minimal, but he is improving. Getting a lot of time in the early bit of the bus stop, losing it all on the second part of the bus stop. Does improve by 8 thousandths of a second, and he deems it good enough to go back to the pits and go for round 2. So Sullivan has crossed the border of the track limits and won't be eligible for anything at the moment on that lap. Del Fonte still up and running, finishing up sector 3. Good improvement. Aston on his rear, no doubt looking for some sort of slipstream on the start-finish line. Just a tiny bit of extra pace to help you push towards turn 1. Del Fonte with an improvement. Where is he going to drop him though? Margins are tight. That's P7. It's within 3.5 tenths of provisional pole. but it's not good enough just yet. Boothby also entering the bus stop. They're flickering off the brake lights. It's looking very, very fast. Crossing the line, also on a good improvement. That's P2, just barely behind Gaskell, who has gone out once again. As has everyone. Just gone back to the pits. Just going for that second set of tires. 10 minutes already gone, 5 minutes remaining before we set the grid for the race. It's barely within track limits from Sav. The time just counting, and that is what they'll have to play with. Top runners for sure. Can't see though, quite a big gap from first down to 13th is the second. But the top positions are all very tight, and it's going to become even tighter as we near the final minutes. Track conditions are optimal. 24 degrees in the air, 30 degrees on the track. These are favorable conditions. All the drivers probably happy. And there's no rain. We are in the mountains. We are in Belgium. So there might be some room for variance, but looking at the clouds, I don't think there will be, because there's absolutely not a cloud in sight. Sav crossing the line was on an improvement for quite a while. I think lost it just that final sector. There it is. Just 300ths away from the personal best. We'll go immediately again. Does not let go of the throttle. Now the question is though, which one of the front runners is out first? Is Gaskell over here. On track behind him is Minar. Behind that, Ramanet. Number 7 car in P7. And Caracas. And then we have Van der Meer in 12th on the track. A few gaps. Just you can see where Boothby is. The number 1 car. Currently out on track. And that is on the bus stop chicane. Will be starting his lap 2. Currently 2nd place in his hands. Just over a 10th behind Gaskell. Mind you, the colors don't update as quickly anymore as they leave the pit lane. So I believe Gaskell is on a lap now. But we simply can't see his delta until he crosses the line. And either improves or doesn't improve. That will be the question here. A few cars ahead of him, but not in the way at all. Enough room. And our championship leader looking to extend the gap out in front on the timing table. A 10th just not comfortable. So he'll go again. Almost within his times in practice. So he has a little bit more in him. We'll have one more lap after this. Then the checkered flag will drop and solidify the grid. Gaskell 16.2. That's not the lap he wanted. Probably on an extra set of warm-up laps. That's always allowed. No earth. P11 as it stands. 16.2 just within the second of the provisional pole time. We'll jump a little bit further ahead. Only one position, I believe, from the looks of it, with his delta. There it is up to P10. And the gap to P9 is 4/10, which is quite large. Boothby now across the backside of the track. First, we'll look at Delphante, who's a little bit further ahead. He'll be taking a wide line, which means he will not be finishing that lap with the time. O'Sullivan looks to be doing the same. Boothby as well. Those are extra warm-up laps, which means we'll go on board with our provisional pole sitter, Sam Gaskell. Currently Doing a good job of improving. Still holds the purple so far, but Boothby, both of them are dancing around the edge of that purple. I see him flicker back between the two. Checkered flag is out. Gaskell dancing around the track limits as well, staying just within it. The tires just not touching the outer edges. And Boothby at the moment with the purple in his hands. Just over a minute behind, so he'll have a bit of lap to go. Gaskell not improving through the bus stop now. The final stretch, if he can improve or not. Across the line, it's not an improvement, still a good lap. But Boothby, the one to attack now. Caracas as well, getting close to that purple time. But Boothby halfway through the lap. Caracas just barely not getting it. Did get an improvement, but not up in any positions. That's P5. Everyone around just trying to find the limits of the track. Delfante as well. Also one of our contenders for tonight. Currently 8th place. It's a bit more time if he wants to jump out in front, because he'll be losing points if he wants to look at a race to pole position. Obviously not points he can afford. No big improvements as Boothby dives into the pits. Delfante across the line. Will there be one place? It will be 2 places. That's up to P6. Delfante will be starting 6th for our first race. O'Sullivan across the line. And it is an improvement, just not a very big one. Gadowski also across with an improvement too, but just not enough to do anything with the front runners. Stubenrauch, Mascar over the line. It's also not an improvement. So there you have it, the qualifying standings and results and the start of a race. Gaskell lining out in front. So we're looking for our race leader. See if we can get the cameras going. If there's a good camera, there it is. We'll have a better camera as we go through the grid order. It'll just take a second of that to update. Gaskell out in first place, holding the championship lead. You don't get points for qualifying, unfortunately. Otherwise, this would have been extended by a few more points. Gaskell will just have to take this supreme starting position. We'll have the outside line for the first bend. Then the really fast one goes towards the right. He might be able to edge out Boothby. Maybe they might be in their voice chat right now. And Gaskell just screaming, "George, you are not in contention. Stay out, please. Let me have the lead." Because no doubt we'll see some strategy coming into play here. Let's see if everything has updated on our side. Currently has a Gaskell first place, pole position, front row lockout by the Go Setups team. Boothby P2, Minar 5th place, just out of contention of the championship, but will line up on the 2nd row in 3rd place. Caracas lining up alongside him. That's not Caracas, that's O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan lining up alongside Caracas, 2nd in the standings. O'Sullivan 3rd. But Caracas really, really looking to make some moves here in the first bit. Same goes for Delfante, currently in 6th. Wasner holding 8th place. Or holding 7th. It's number 8 car. 8th place goes to Ramanet. Very good qualifying lap. Big improvements. Jumping across the grid. Stubenrauch, final car over the grid. The number 9 in P9. Noberth in 10th place. The position you have to be if you want to start on pole position for race number 2. Van Rossum in 11th. Then we have a Sav, 12th place. So we're approaching the halfway mark of our grid. Van der Meer in 13th. Didn't get the runs that Van Rossum got. Puts him a little bit further down 2 places. Foch in 14th. Number 12 lining up alongside the number 10. Gadowski in 15th. Also just outside of the championship lead. Burez in 16th. Tadic lining up alongside on the right hand side of the grid. B17 Scorsia, 18th place. We have seen fight with those leaders. I wonder if that is going to happen again. Franganillo, 19th. Cruitin, 20th. As we're nearing the last third. 40 seconds until the race starts. Fox in 21st. It's more Aston Martins towards the back of this grid flag. In 22nd. Still more Mustangs than Astons. Herpel as well in the Mustang. 23rd. As the engines start lighting up 30 seconds before the start line. In 24th. Strzekalowski. 25th. Silverio. 26th. Another Aston. And Krauk with our Ferrari in 27th. Hageman in 28th. And on our final row of the grid, we have Tepper in 29th. And the final spot inhabited by Blockwitz in 30th. That is it for our grid. As we're looking ahead towards the front, this has been our 3rd place, 2nd row start for this man. Currently 5th, also not in contention. And then O'Sullivan was 3rd, only 149 points behind the lead. So Gasquel doesn't have one backup, he has 2. He's got 2 drivers right behind him. Maybe willing to take the hit of some time loss. Take the hit of some position loss. We'll see how much of the team orders we'll get to see today. Because I'm pretty sure all 3 of them are going to be fighting for the victory. Make it even more exciting. Because if Gasquel doesn't get the win here, the gaps are only going to close. And that's something we like to see. More contention for that final round. Remember, first race is 20 minutes. The second race is 40 minutes. You get 1/3 of the points for race 1 finish. And you get 2/3 of the points for the race 2 finish. That means B1 can get 560 points here on race 1. And for race 2, you get 840 points. So that means Gasquel can't make the victory here in race 1. Even if he wins and Caracas, O'Sullivan, Delphante all get below and dip down to the final point scoring positions, Gasquel will still not have the victory in his hands, because race 2 is the one where you get double the points of race 1. Not exactly, because you know they're a little bit skewed. So otherwise, race 1 would not be as fun. Nearly the majority of the points handed out in that second race. That's the one we'll be looking for. One more sector to go. As the drivers are going to be trailing through turn 1, waiting for that long run up Eau Rouge and Radion. And on to the Camel Straight. Then we'll see who survives, who gets out, and who makes it happen. Formation lap coming to its conclusion. Track conditions around the same. We started around 4 p.m. Currently 4:36 after practice and qualifying. Temperatures dropping a tiny bit. Second race will also be within these temperature ranges. We'll be finishing about an hour from now, which means we'll have 1 hour of temperature drops, but not something the drivers will have to worry about. The first race is without pit stops. They'll be going start to finish with the same tires and of course the same fuel load. Second race will have 1 pit stop, most of them grabbing it halfway through, and that's where the strategy comes into play. Spa's got a very, very long pit stop, and you really, really do not want to take a drive-through penalty here. Unfortunately for the drivers, lots of the runoff has grass or gravel, meaning you don't want to take those limits anyway. As the grid punches up, we're getting ready for our run onto, I was going to say turn 1, but this track is a little bit special, a little bit different. The run towards turn 1 is not the run towards turn 1, because the first turn of racing will be Eau Rouge, will be the left-hander. As everyone lined up in that double file, they'll be shimmying through the first turn. It's probably for the best. You know, the Monza shenanigans. Everyone going way too hard, way too deep into that first turn. That's not something you want to see here. And the season finale, of course. Everyone trying to get the best run, tapping the brakes, getting them heated up as they're approaching the line to the starting grid. So we're waiting for the lights to go green, the flags to wave, and the cars to go. Season finale has gone underway. Gaskell, good start overall. Boothby trailing behind, slotting into 3 cars, chased down by Sav, as by O'Sullivan, as they're pretty cleanly through. It seems Delphante sideways though, with another car, as they're making it about too wide, going up to the Lecombe section. I see a little bit of fighting out in front though. We see Boothby almost going alongside his teammate. Going in, there's contact. There's some cars running off as Wasner. Big contact actually, as we do see someone go off, and that appears to be Caracas. Caracas of the line into the wall and out of contention. The front of that car absolutely smashed up, and no way of him to recover anything that he's lost right now. Delphante in the midst of all this, unsure what's happened, as we see Tadic and Fonch battle it out a little bit. Fonch grabbing the lesser of it. Perez taking the inside line onto Pujon. Going to be trying to defend, as we see Fraganillo go wide, losing 1, 2, 3 spots almost, as Scorsia is fighting with some cars behind as well. The top 3 still as they were. And some more runs looks being made. O'Sullivan quite close still. Caracas not happy and a little bit too far behind now. We'll probably have to go in and go for some repairs. I don't think that is going to save his race. Currently, top 3 still close. Minar in 3rd. He's trailing down something. Van der Meer going into the box, it seems. As we see a few drivers peel in. Is that in the pits? That's not in the pits. That's just slowing down. That's Van der Meer going very slowly. Currently around the outside of turn 1, almost 3 wide. Into La Source, currently in P26. That's not where he started. Now the race has really started. Tepper being chased down up the hill. All of these cars going a little bit too close. Herpel and Krauk as well. They're moving towards the inside. Krauk looking for a small defense, but Herpel ultimately sending him back towards the outside. A big break for Krauk, and that's a little bit too far from Van der Meer. Drops back down. He's currently looking to inhabit the final slots. Herpel on the attack, but now on the defense, as Stregolovski is on his way to get the overtake around the outside. Drops back down a little bit. Tepper looking to get an opportunistic move out of this. Looking for the outside move. Open it up for Silverio as well. You don't want to go towards the inside of Buhon. That is not going to be good. And Tepper gaining the place. Doing a good job there. Holding it along the outside. Getting the position. Silverio under pressure now as well. As we have Hageman right behind this back field, offering quite a bit of entertainment in these early stages of the race. Look down at the front though, you see Gaskell, small gap to his two teammates behind. Now Sullivan dropping back Stubenrauch as well, as he's fighting with the Ramanet, and Del Fonte, who's currently in 7th place. Want some more out of this. But ultimately, it is O'Sullivan that has the best position as of now. Just looking to get a good fight in. As Gaskell puts in another fastest lap, which instantly gets overtaken by O'Sullivan. Boothby ends up being the ultimate fastest car at the moment, but his lap time was invalid, so that does not count for anything as it stands. Del Fonte getting past Ramanet just after turn 1. We'll have to look for a defense coming up to Camel Straight, because this is a long slipstream. It's a long way to go towards the turn. Ramanet deciding against it, sticking behind, and Del Fonte gaining a place up to 6th. That's something to be happy about. Start to chase now. Trying to overtake Stubenrauch and then go towards the top 4. Maybe get something in here, because it is quite close, as you can see. The back of 4. No team orders yet. No backing up or backing off. The Go Setups team looking at the first 3 places, as we see Herpel, who has spun. And the question is that contact or was it not? Not sure if I can get the replay on that one. I'm unsure about the timings of the incidents that we see. Wasner through Fanya into campus, right behind the number 11 car of Neuwirth. Getting real up close. Lots of invalid lap times being shown. Stubenrauch a little bit wide on this exit. Just saw it turn red. Here it is, Wasner. The inside line. They say it doesn't matter too much at these speeds, but it quite does on Blanchimont. That's a great overtake by the number 8 car in the Ford Mustang. Shuffling on through up to 8th place. And that is good stuff. An overtake you don't really see that often. The one that you like to see a lot more. Minnaar on the rear of Boothby has dropped back just a tiny bit, leaving Gaskell a little bit of space. Minnaar not only worrying about gaining a place, but also about defending a place. O'Sullivan currently 3rd in the standings, 150 points to gain. And he's the one to gain it all, as we have Gaskell, the one to lose it all. Currently still out in 1st. Luckily for him, he's not in the fight with these 2 behind Boothby and Minnaar, both holding their line. Playing it nice, playing it safe. I was going to say papaya rules, but these guys are more like dragon fruit rules. The white and purple, pinkish. Just trying to fight alongside each other. Maybe pull each other ahead. Don't lose too much time by fighting, because that means that O'Sullivan can get back in. Stubenrauch can get back in, and Del Fonte, of course, as well. Caracas is still driving. 1 full lap behind, has taken the pit stop and repaired all the damage. As you can see, it's the number 3 car currently looking towards Sector 3. We'll be finishing the race as we're already 8 minutes in. 40% of the race done. And Gasquel still holding on to the lead. We're scanning the deltas for some more fights in the backfield, because those are always a little bit more interesting. Lots of lap times being invalidated, lots of red on the table. Minnaar dropping back a bit now. O'Sullivan has a good run. We might be able to see something happen here towards the bus stop. That's the inside line being locked just a little bit later on the brakes from Minnaar. The line being taken by O'Sullivan. Maybe able to get a run. Looking a little bit further back. We see Del Fante is actually on his way to do something nice there. We saw him in the back. It looks to be quite close between these. Stubenhauer on the defensive. Del Fante trying to take the wider line. Switch it up a little. Because he's got Ramanet right behind. He's got to worry about 2 cars now as well. Start heading up the hill. And that's the wrong car. That's the car I wanted to look at. The Honda within sight has the slipstream. Don't think it'll be close enough to do anything into Lecombe. Not nearly. There's a little bit of contact between Escorche and Perez. Perez currently inhabiting P17. He's got flag right behind. Has to worry about Cruitin. These 3 also quite close. Fox in the back gains a position onto the line. The number 28 car dropping down to 21st. And Perez now dropping behind Escorche. Taking a little bit of a look. Franganillo 1 place ahead, 1.5 seconds. Should be doable. As it's quite early in the race too. Well, I say as we have already reached the halfway mark. That's halfway of the time that Gasquel needs to lead. 9 minutes left to fend off Boothby, to fend off Minnaar. Of course, O'Sullivan. Del Fante, the one to look for some more stuff. Caracas, unlucky at the start. Unsure of how many points he'll be getting for finishing in 30th. Because we do still have 30 cars on the track. Means that I can't properly calculate, but I'm sure it'll be quite a bit less than what Gasquel will be getting for finishing in first. If he holds this up, Del Fante looking on the inside a little bit. Stubenhauer holds his nerve. Doesn't move at all. Keeps the place for now, but there's a big run towards the Kemmel straight. And afterwards, these 3 driving in tandem. Inside line immediately being taken by the number 9 car. Drops back towards the outside for the corners. Del Fante seeing a car to his left, knowing that that is not the line you have to take. Ramanet a little bit too deep into the corner, but joins right back in. Should not be any problem whatsoever. Loses a bit of time though. Nothing too major. Still quite fine. Crowd now chasing down Silverio in P25 for the place. P24. Got a few cars behind him though. Van der Meer and Hageman also looking for that position. Looking at the top 10. Everyone's gaps have increased, and these are the positions that will be swapped around for the start of race 2. That might take a little moment. But we will see them being switched for the start of race 2. The only ones currently in a fight is Del Fante, not with the car ahead that he wanted to. Ramanet closer to him than he is to Stubenhauer. Just sandwiched between the two as it stands. And everyone in the top 10 stabilizing a little bit more. 6.5 more minutes for them to make some moves. Important though, looking at the pace, Caracas, a 15.8, is on pace to be within the top 5. Because currently Gasquel also with a 15.8. Caracas within the lines of the top 5. So if he starts the next race on a good position, he might be able to gain some places at the start and do something extraordinary. With a bit of luck for him, Gasquel and O'Sullivan and Del Fonte will all be losing a few points, and he'll still be in contention. He's not out just yet. And this is what I meant as well before when I said that Gasquel could not clinch the title with just the first race. That means that Caracas cannot lose it from the first race either. Everything is still possible. A lot of magic has to happen for it, but it is still possible. Del Fonte inching closer and closer to the front and to the rear of the number 9 car ahead, the Mustang. Just holding the place. Has held it quite a few laps now. Currently on lap number 7. Del Fonte eager to go past. Both of these drivers have taken a little trip across the limits already, more than once. Not something you want to do more than 4 times. Third time is still a warning, but the 4th time you will take a drive-through penalty. At Spa, those can last up to a minute, depending on your entry and your exit. Might be able to make it a slight bit shorter, but a pit stop costs about 90 seconds of time loss. That means the drive-through about 60 seconds. And it is very much possible to lose a bit of time, keeping it within the track limits. You have 3 warnings, so you might as well take some of those, especially if your name is Del Fonte. Trying to get past Stubenrauch. Might just send it on to Radion. Just one moment. Just a bit too far over the line. By quote-unquote accident. And then just maybe, have a better run at the corner. And that Mustang just a bit too fast. And nothing you can do in a Honda. But sit behind. Look at the beautiful rear of the car. And unfortunately, nothing more you can do. Boothby getting a bit closer to Gasquel. These 3 have done a great job of keeping O'Sullivan behind, who has dropped back a tiny bit. Boothby gaining just a few tenths on the previous lap. The pace looking quite strong for these 3 out in front. But then again, Caracas is quite fast in the midfield. He's currently at the back. He doesn't have clean air, so that will help him a tiny bit, but he is on pace with the front runners. Foch getting an overtake to 13th place. Has taken Tadic and is looking for Gdowski. I believe that was just Tadic not gaining the overtake. So in my telemetry, there was a small change for position. It's difficult for me to remember where everyone is and was. It does look like Foch has got a good run out in front, and Gdowski in the Aston Martin has to defend. But a run onto the bus stop is always very difficult. Gdowski towards the inside. Foch take the long way around, which becomes the inside if he can keep his nose and a wheel in, which he does. But Gdowski, once again, with that longer run onto the outside, Just able to pull it away. And Tadic able to put something of a pressure on the inside. That's a big break for Fudge. Losing a bit of time on the indecisiveness. Gadowski able to pull away for now. These three racing in a row as well up the hill, where we see Sav currently behind Van Rossum, and this is the closest we've seen cars on this straight. No defense from the number 16 car as Sav puts his on the inside, gets the position as they go through. Fudge does have a car with a defense in front of him. Looks to have a good run through Lecomte, but Gadowski is able to pull it back just for a moment. That's a good defense. They are as they were. Final minute has started, which means that Gaskell will be crossing the line and then ending the race. Potentially, just looking at the numbers, he might just start another lap, one more run. Ramanet is behind Delphante. He's dropped back a little bit, lost some time compared to his arrival up ahead. But then again, the number 9 car, we just saw him go a little bit wide. And Wasner has joined the fight. Out in front, it has settled down. Oh, that's a bit wide. Wasner losing some more time. They were a little bit too far away, though. We got a few more seconds to go, and that is the checkered flag being thrown. We'll look out in front to Gaskell, to Boothby, and to Minnaar, and of course O'Sullivan, as we have our first podium of the day. Gaskell taking the victory, Boothby in second, Minnaar third, O'Sullivan in fourth, as they were. A little bit further behind, we have Stubenbrouwer, Delphante, Ramanet, Wasner joining in for the next four. Neuwirth for P9, Sav in 10th. That's going to be the finishing order for our first race. Gaskell taking the victory. Quite a managed race from the looks of it. The number 2 car getting the lead at the start from pole position. Of course, able to just snuff it out from there, having his 2 teammates to back him up. Herpel crossing the line now in 29th. Caracas halfway through sector 2 will be finishing the lap. Unfortunately, after the incident, had to go for repairs. Now he's going to be finishing the race last place. Minnaar taking home the fastest lap by just a few hundredths from Gaskell. These top 3 from Go Setups have done a phenomenal job at securing the entire podium. And Gaskell gaining the 560 points and extending his lead by quite a big amount. So I'm unsure the points from Caracas were. O'Sullivan did take 4th place, and that is looks at 518 points. So the difference there, 42 points, meaning O'Sullivan drops down to 191 points. And that's the difference he has to gain in order to gain the championship from Gaskell. And Caracas, who just crossed the line, will now be finishing up this session. So we're heading on to our starting grid for race number 2 in just a moment. Penalties being given down the back of the grid. Tadic, Krauk, 15 seconds each. 5 seconds for Herpel, Franganillo, and also for Escortia. A little bit further back. We have lost the connection, which I believe is due to... Yep, definitely is due to the inability of ACC to have reverse grids, which means that the LFM staff is working to get the grids all fixed up, and I'm pretty sure that the results have not updated yet. These are the results from last week. Oh, yeah, of course, they have not updated. Yeah, that's still the same as before. Can't change that on the fly, so I'll have to wait for a moment for the server to get back up. But Gaskell taking the lead. And of course, 191 points now between Gaskell and O'Sullivan. A little bit more between Gaskell and Caracas. Davante got a few points as well under his belt. But the real fight now is going to be with O'Sullivan and Gaskell. Davante still in the mix for a good top 10 finish and some good points as well. Gonna quickly take a gander at the standings. And as a reminder, these are the standings after last week, before today's race. Before race 1 results. I'll have to wait just a moment. So I don't think this one will be updated before we are starting our second race. That means these standings are before today's race. Tracking on to our 40-minute main event. Just finished what Formula 2 would call the sprint race. To our big 40-minute start. 1 pit stop is mandatory, as is usual for the Pro Series. Yeah, 1 pit stop that you have to make. Pit window will open around the middle of the race. So that means 10 minutes close, and 20 minutes open, and then 10 minutes closed again. So the drivers look to make their stops somewhere halfway through the race. And even cycling through these bottom pages, the Sav in 61st, we just saw a fight with quite a few accomplished drivers in this series. Maybe the drivers that are just able to join a few rounds, drivers that have only discovered the race, discovered the series, or even gained access to the series on the final few races. Or maybe they were in a different split. As we're still waiting for the server to get set up. It'll take a little longer than expected. We should be able to cycle through all the standings once more. These are all the drivers that have only participated for either 1 or 2 races. And doing 1 race and getting 1,200 points is quite a feat, I would say. Because those are the points that you get for the top 7. So that is quite good. Should be able to cycle right on through. We're still waiting. That would be the time to take a little short break. So we have a few minutes before the second race will start, even if the server is back up. To go to the toilet, take some water, do some stretching, maybe get out of the seat. Would also be nice. I think the drivers are doing the same at the moment. Doubt everyone will be in their seats for the entirety of this wait. I've gone out to grab something. Should be back soon enough. There we have it. Server has gone back up. We should be able to get back on track within a few moments. About 5 minutes of a practice session before we start. Gonna quickly make sure everything is all set. As yeah, we should be going back to the live views, because we have cars on the track. That's obviously way more fun to watch than a standing scrolling. I should say car on track, because currently it's only Boothby who's taking it to the track. As you can see, still Gaskell, the winner from previous race. 20-minute being won by our championship leader, extending it to 191 points. That is what needs to be done. It's everything that O'Sullivan needs to gain the championship victory. 191 points over Gaskell. And in this race, that just means that Gaskell needs to drop outside the top 15, I believe. I would say that's not an easy task, especially with the pit stop that is planned in between. There is still time. Gonna let this run out for just a moment longer. Take a short hydration break myself. So I'll have 3 minutes of looking at cars across the track. And then we'll be back for the formation lap and for race 2. 40 minutes around Spa for our season finale championship decider. Gaskell versus O'Sullivan and Delphante. We'll be right back. And we're letting the tension rise once again. The practice has concluded. The drivers on the track currently finishing up their laps. And then we get on for our race and we can see our starting grid. Gaskell taking the lead in the race 1. We'll be starting further back for race 2. As that is customary for our double race weekends. I would say weekend. It's Thursday. If only it was a weekend. Vahosum, the final car to cross that line, currently through sector 3, showing off some of that speed. Only one lap set realistically, and there we have it. Well, that's that's what we had. There's a top 10. It's top 15 being dropped on the reverse, as Gaskell is currently in 15th place, as the top half of the grid has been reversed. And this is somewhat good news for O'Sullivan, who starts in 12th. He has to battle through less cars. Delphante actually finished one place behind O'Sullivan. That's always good to know. meaning he got a 507 points, which means he is currently, as it stands, if I'm going to calculate real quickly, that's 53 points deficit. That means he's going to be at 212 points behind. Am I saying that correctly? 208 points. There we go. 208 points behind Gaskell. I'm gonna recheck my math there because I don't think it is correct. Doesn't matter too much now, does it? 10 points behind, 11 points less. Well, I'm completely wrong on my math. Not even going to debate it. It's just over 200 points. And that's the difference between P1 and P15. That means that Delphante or O'Sullivan will have to get the victory if Gaskell stays in this position. I doubt he will. And we should have, maybe, if we're lucky, we can get our grid here. Though we're apparently not lucky because that is not what's happening. We don't have our grid for the start just yet. We'll have to wait just a few moments more because the drivers will most likely start to get ready for the race. We'll have to wait just a little bit. Probably because the formation lap is so long, we can make it last with the grid walk all the way through. I mean, if we even need a grid walk, maybe for the top 15. To be fair, everyone has shuffled a little bit around. Karencast currently last, so might as well do a grid walk in just a few moments' time. Currently redoing the math because it's not, my math doesn't appear to be mathing. It is 212 points. I was completely wrong on the first two guesses, but third time's the charm, I guess. 212 points is the deficit from Delphante to Gaskell at the moment. See if we can get our grid walk going again. If it does work this time around. Nope. It does not appear that we are getting our grid walk for race number 2. We'll just have to walk you through it. Flag finished in P15. We'll now start on P1. Perez right next to him. That yellow and light blue car. Beautiful combination. Fonch in third place. Gadowski alongside the car that defended so masterfully against the number 12 car. Will be on the attack now. Van Rossum in 5th. Saaf in 6th. Stuberauch and Neuwirth trading places in 7th and 8th. Wasner in 9th now. Ramonet and Delphante also reversed 10th and 11th respectively. And then we have our top 4 from race number 1. O'Sullivan, Minnaar, Boothby and Gaskell in that order, as you can see on the screen on the timing tower. And they're followed by the drivers that followed and that finished in these positions. Scorsia 16th, Fox in 17th, then 18th for Line, Karutin and Franganillo finishing up the 10th row in 19th and 20th. Strakalovsky in 21st, Silverio 22nd, Tepper has 23rd, Van der Meer 24th, Hageman in 25th. We have Blockwich in 26th, Tadic 27th, Krauk 28th, Herpel in 29th, and then you have Caracas, who had the unfortunate incident on the first lap. Had to go towards the pits and is now starting last. He's going to have a monumental task ahead of him if he still wants to compete for the championship. He's probably further behind than O'Sullivan and Delphante. Going to take a quick peek to see if the standings have updated on this formation lap. Doesn't look like they have, which means that these are the standings before, and I shouldn't be spreading misinformation because that's not the standings that we have right now. Because we have Gaskell in first, O'Sullivan in second, and Delphante in third. These three drivers separated by just over 200 points. A little bit more than they were the last time around, but this time Gaskell is starting 15th. He's got his teammates right in front of him. Boothby and Minnaar, both very fast drivers, very quick. And they will be in front of Gaskell, not giving him a single inch. The drivers that saved Gaskell from O'Sullivan before, it's now going to prevent him from attacking. Remember, 191 points is the difference. That is what we need. 191 is what O'Sullivan needs over Gaskell to take the championship. It's going to be quite close. No doubt it's going to be a tight race. 40 minutes. As the timing has been reset for 12 p.m. Track conditions about equal as what we had in the previous race. No differences to anything. Still the same amount of sun, no clouds. Same temperatures, 23 and 30. It's about the same. No noticeable difference. We're getting ready for the turn 1. Which of course is turn 2 or turn 3, depending on how you like to count. Because some of these people will most definitely not see that kink after turn 1 as an official turn. But of course, there are internet sources that do say that that is officially a turn, and the track has one more turn than people would have known. But officially, that is not turn 2. And of course, Spa's got such iconic corners. No one counts in corner numbers. Everyone already knows the names. It's Las Horses, Rouge and Radion, and Kemmel, which is should be said also a kink, but is always counted. Lecombe into Brazil. No Name, which has a name. Pouhon, Fagné, Campus, Stavelo, and then Blanchimont and the bus stop. All iconic corners where we will see a lot of cars go through. 30 of them in total. See, go through the motion of this track. So we see them all line up now. Can we see all of them? We barely can. This flag will take the lead on the inside of turn 1. Perez right alongside Foch and Gadowski on that second row. 40 minutes with one mandatory pit stop. That is what we are looking at. The number 26 lining up on pole position for this second race. 191 points between O'Sullivan and Gaskell. That is what we need. It means O'Sullivan will have to win in this race that's starting in 3 and now. Flag currently with the lead, holds the line quite well. Perez got a little bit of a better start, but there's no way to overtake through these corners. Foch with a better run as Perez looks a little bit upset after that. And it's now side by side through Kemmel. Gadowski also on his way to slot right on through Perez, losing 2 places before we even reach the first official big braking zone of this first lap. Perez down 2 places. Foch around the outside of the number 26 car. Doesn't make it work as of now. Flag still holding on, but Foch keeping his nose in. It's going to be rewarded with a good run onto Brazil. That's the outside line. Flag still holding strong. Foch already gaining a place on the start. Has to worry about Gadowski behind him now. He's going to be sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. He has to back out now. Onto Pouhon, the corner where we just said you can't go side by side, but look who's trying to do that. A little bit further behind, Van Rossum. The inside line here, usually the one that backs out of the corner. But this is Wasner. Holds the line, and Van Rossum with a beautiful move, I should say, takes the place. Ramanet on his way to also find Wasner. Hasn't given up yet, though. Into Fagné. The BMW holds the line. And Van Rossum slowly trying to gained the place, but this is Ramanet just sending it up the inside, and Van Rossum almost gained the place and now lost 1-2. Ramanet, nowhere, also on his way to have a little look. Doesn't go for it in the end. And we do have Boothby and O'Sullivan currently behind Gaskell. Gaskell is currently in 11th place. Something must have happened because Minnaar is in the pits. Let's see if we can get a good look at the incident. Don't think we can. And Van Rossum getting a move sent on by Nowhere, who is right in front of Boothby and O'Sullivan, who are fighting as it stands for P12. O'Sullivan having the better place, but Boothby having the better position on the track. Gaskell a little bit further ahead. Boothby, big send on the inside. Definitely teamwork, because now O'Sullivan is in the grasp of Nirka Sav. He's looking to make a run onto Eau Rouge, but everyone knows you have to back out before the corner, because there's no way you're surviving side by side in these cars. Gaskell up to 11th place. That's a good start. He's looking for more. Very hungry. Van Rossum just dropped back a few positions. He's now getting overtaken by one, if not two cars. It's going to be 3 wide into Les Combes. Boothby grabbing that double slipstream and getting the position on Gaskell. No team orders here today. Boothby doing a massive job there. So Fudge is dropping back a little bit. Stubenrauch in the middle of the pack of the top 15. He's now gaining a place. He's currently up to 2nd place. Definitely something he is looking to enjoy. Defante currently 9th, the next target for this duo. Boothby and Gaskell currently 10th and 11th. Skadowski is having a little look. Might have to back out of this one, Wasner. Fighting with Van Rossum before. Dropped back all the way to 12th. Gadowski side by side into Fagnes. And the Aston has to look behind him because Ramanet, opportunistic, taking the position. Now Gadowski has Perez on his rear. The car that started in 2nd place had a little look, but backed out. Fast lap in the hands of Van der Meer. That is, of course, not one for a full lap. That's just for the start, one after the formation lap. Our flag is now dropping back down the order. The complete black Mustang currently in 5th place as Ramanet sends it around the outside. More cars going off the track, rejoining just before the grass hits. That is Gadowski on the inside, and number 26 down to 6th place now, as this is what happens with the reverse grid order. We see lots of cars shuffling back and forth. Boothby holding the fastest lap now. Officially, Defante looking to make a good move there. Does need quite a substantial amount of points to be able to call himself the champion. Currently looking ahead. The flag is quite close to losing another place. Lost 5 already. Currently has a Honda on his rear. The number 4 car owned by Delphante. It's not fast enough on this straight to be able to catch up, but that is still good showing. Fudge losing the place to Wasner. Fudge down to 3rd place. He's got Ramanet right behind him, who has looked feisty this entire time. Did so during qualifying, did so during race 1. Now with the nose into Brazil. That's a daring send, but he sticks it. That is a very brave move from Ramanet. Fudge drops back another place. That was beautiful. That was a very, very nice one from the number 7 car. As we see a big line of cars about to join in. Starts with Flag, Delphante right behind, and Perez, Nurieth. And now we have this man, Gaskell. He's gone back past Boothby. No doubt on his way for more points. And behind this is Sav, just in view, and O'Sullivan should be joined in. There he is at the back, a bit further down from Sav. This train is all but fighting. Boothby sticking to the rear. There's not much you can see from there. His teammate, no doubt wanting to hold that position. Knows that he gets the most amount of points with P10 compared to P11. Boothby having to defend because that is Sav right behind. If he's not careful, he's going to be losing that place, and Gaskel might too. Because this battling, going to lose them some time to the guys ahead. And they're on the inside of Beres, and Boothby on the inside of Gaskel is going for the lunge. Will have the inside line, and Boothby making 2 moves into turn 1 this race. It looks to be an absolute spectacle. Gaskel dropped back 1 place. Beres still holding on to P8. As Boothby sets in the chase. And there's Neuwirth getting defensive on the straight. Knows that Beres is right in front of him. If he can box in Boothby, there's nothing he can do realistically. And Gaskel knows this as well, but Beres has moved over. And Boothby taking the space up to 9th. Gaskel the next one to pass. O'Sullivan still stuck behind Sav, but this train is only starting to get bigger and bigger. It's Beres, the next target on the list of the number 1 car. This is the view from behind, from that number 20 car. They're looking to gain some time towards Puhan. Boothby, a bit of a wider line, might be able to carry some more speed through the turn. No defense being thrown by the number 20. Boothby sitting behind for a bit. And Gaskel having a little look. Neuwirth on the defense. That's nothing compared to this Ford. A little bit of space being kept. Gaskel going wide. It's not only Gaskel that's wide, that's also O'Sullivan. It's gone a bit too far. Sav sees the open space, goes for it. Has the inside through Blanchemont. Should be another one. If that has no contact, that's Neuwirth. A little bit wide. Still clean. Gaskel trying to find a space because he knows that has O'Sullivan on his outside. A small tap to the rear of Sav. Gonna send him backwards just a little bit. 3 wide through the second part of the bus stop. Silverio smothering his way through. This is now Gaskel being swallowed up by the cars behind. And this is also a team effort. This Carcass is joining back in the order. 3 places behind Gaskel. Silverio dropping behind Sav. That's a big crash, big shunt onto Radion. And that is that's Sav all the way out. As we see, this one-on-one battle between our top 2 of the championship. I can't believe what a big shunt I just saw on top there. I said before, you don't go side by side, and they did. They went ahead and did it. And Gaskel keeping the place over O'Sullivan, has got some clean air now, as most of the fighting cars have been taken out now. That was a big shunt. See if we can get the replay on that one. That should be this incident. That's not this incident. It's the one that cost the yellow flag. Unsure if we can still get the replay on anything so far. We'll have to wait and see if we can wait out this replay, because I definitely want to see what happened. If I can get my hands on the replay. It's not here. This is just contacts. It doesn't look like I can get anything. So that means I'll be done trying to get something for the replays, as we should be looking towards some more live views, and the live views, of course, containing some more action than some replays that I can't seem to find. Boothby, the number 1 car, currently chasing down Flag. The car that started in first on this race leaves the inside. Enough room for Boothby to send it and get past Perez. Started in second place, is now right behind Flag once again. Looking to just chase on through follow through into the first turn. Boothby covering off the inside nicely and opening it up for Perez. Flag losing down one bit. But if you look at the standings though, we see a new visitor has entered the ring, and that is Caracas. Currently 12th, is already ahead of O'Sullivan. That's quite a nice view, I should say. Big improvements from the number 3 car. Like I said, had the pace for the front runners. Just an unfortunate incident at the start. They're absolutely all over the rear of everyone else. I want to see if I still can get that yellow flag, that incident on the replay. We'll go for one more try. See if this is the one. And it definitely is getting close. I'm just getting closer and closer to the actual accident timer. Might actually be this one. Start of the incident. Silverio. And that's the small tap onto the rear right before the big crash. That was Sav receiving a small tap, getting unsettled, and then being thrown into the barrier and back onto the grid, onto the racing line, onto a few unsuspecting cars. You do see 3 cars in the pits. We saw Creotin and Blogwitz in the pits. Minar as well, still stationary. And Escortia in line, taking a big stop as well. Currently in 6th place, Delfante trying to chase down Gadowski. It's been dropped back behind Foch at 2.5 seconds, so the fight quite close on the previous race. But now that Foch has some clean air, they will just pull away a little bit more. Wasner holding the fastest lap so far. Apologies, still on that replay overlay. There we go. There we have the timing screen. As you can see, the pit window is open for 16 more minutes. So everyone who does their stop now should be able to finish that one up. And that means that Blockwitz, Creotin, and Scorshan line all have done their stops within the window. And they should be able to just pull right on back. Finish the race on these tires, on these fuel. Black now on his way to lose another place. Has lost the fight with Perez. Nowhere. Taking a good look at our race 2 pole sitter. Getting right past him. Trying to feed him to the cars behind as well. As Gasquel is on his way to do something. And Caracas making it personal. Don't think he can fight for the championship at the moment. Delfante just a bit too far ahead. O'Sullivan 15th at the moment. I believe actually Delfante might just be able to have enough points to finish above O'Sullivan if they finish like this. If anything happens to Gasquel, it might just go to Delfante. So, like I said, anything still goes. And Caracas, like I said, not able to do it on the track on the previous race. Might just want to do it for pride in race number 2. 24.5 minutes are the times that remain. Gasquel only, quote-unquote, only in 11th. Starting in 15th after finishing P1 in race 1. Now has Caracas right on his heels, right as it should be. The fight for the championship in my mind, and that's Caracas towards the inside. Maybe Gasquel knows that it's not going to be this fight that decides the championship. It's not going to be this battle that will give him the win. I'll just let them by. Caracas with the pace that Gasquel unfortunately has not at the moment. O'Sullivan drops back one more place. It's not where he wants to be. Definitely not. Skidowski is looking ahead. Delfante under a bit of pressure. So there is a back marker in between. I was about to say small look, but that looked to be a very big look from Gadowski. As Boothby is trying to follow on through. Blue flags being waved. The back marker jumping out of the way, leaving these guys past. This is the fight for 5th place. Quite possibly for a championship. Because we did see a DNF on the previous race. Well, not a DNF for Caracas. Pretty far behind. Far enough not to be in any contention for this race. We might see some more. We've had 2 DNFs in this race. Minar still in the pits after completing 0 total laps. So that's number 3. Probably still here to watch this fight unfold. Meaning that we might still get some more crashes, some more battles, some more contacts. So we're approaching the halfway mark. So anything is still possible. Caracas knows he's going to need a lot of points if he wants to gain the championship. Don't think he can. I mean, theoretically he still can. He's picking away flag. Who's now holding up Gaskel, who wants to pass as well. It's not holding up necessarily, it's fighting for position. But if Caracas goes past, then Gaskel is going to have to do it soon. Otherwise this gap is just going to open up. As the rounds of pit stops have opened, approaching that halfway mark. And we have that one mandatory stop. That's going to pull everyone in at a certain point. Severio, O'Sullivan, Haagman, Tipper, and Strzekalowski currently in the box. So we see Gaskel just following. Seeing a little bit of an indicator from flag indicating that he's going to stay on the outside and letting Gaskel through. He knows that this is not his fight, this is not his position. And that Gaskel and Caracas are technically still fighting for the championship. He's going to leave them by, leave them to their thing. Meanwhile, Gadowski has still held this man behind quite well for the past few laps. Boothby not finding the space to go on through, and Delphante thanking him dearly for his defense. Gadowski doing a great job at that. Delphante 5th place to his name still. In good points with O'Sullivan currently in the pits. But before he stopped, it was all the way down P15, P16 I believe. It's going to be happy times in Delphante's car. Because if anything happens to Gaskel in this point in the race, Delphante will take the championship. Small brake tap there from Boothby. Trying not to do anything. As we see Foch go in, Stumacher go in, Gadowski and Boothby following suit. And we have a new race leader, and it's Sasha Wasner. Currently in 1st place, holding the fastest lap. That's something you want to take a quick screenshot of. Make sure you got that one for the books. Everyone else either having to decide to go in or stay out for one more lap. Theoretically, they have about 3 more laps. 4 would be a bit tight, would still be possible, but definitely going to be a tight one. As Delphante, Caracas, Gaskel of our top 4 still staying out. Top 4 meaning top 4 in the championship. Everyone else behind appears to go in. And we just have our top 6 currently on the track. Wasner, Ramanet, Delphante, Caracas, Gaskell, and Herpel still out on the track. And Boothby being the first one to go and stop here. And of course it is a very, very long box, like I said. Perez dropping in right behind. They went to the pits about a minute ago. They're just stationary now. That's of course the effect of the very, very long pit lane that Spa-Francorchamps has. Hageman defensive for the number 30 car. It's going around the outside. These guys have already done their stops. So they can battle now straight towards the end. And Stragolowski getting the position. Not going defensive for turn 1. A small wiggle. Also a small move. But sees it out. Currently in 21st place. So be passing some cars in the pits. Maybe about 4 of them. It's Krauk leaving the pits. And Van der Meer as well. 18th place now for the number 30 car. As we see Wasner, Ramanet, Caracas and Gaskell go in. And Herpel looking to make the decision as well. Yep. And then we have Delphante, the only car still out on track. And this is where it gets interesting, because here we have to see where everyone ends up. We saw Wasner, Ramanet, and Gaskell and Caracas be quite high in the positions in the leaderboard. Stubenhout is currently in Sector 2. Of course, we might have a long time to wait. About 74 seconds, which is about 25 more seconds. Stubenhout has to finish the lap within that time. It's going to be quite close. Delphante, of course, going to have to see the carnage everywhere around him, see the moves, the changes for these final 16 minutes. Gaskell, I was going to say, appears to be on the move already. It's now stationary. Now we have a bit more time for him to wait. Stubenhout coming on through. It's going to be turn 1. All set. Wasner is leaving. Appears to be having the net lead. As Ramanet is right behind on the exit. Stubenhout should be visible. There he is. Setting it on through and will take that net second place as Ramanet takes in 3rd. Fortune 5th and Caracas in 6th. And that's around the space that Delphante will inhabit as soon as he crosses the line. So Wasner out on track. Delphante still out. Gonna make this stint as long as possible. Really curious to see what the train of thought is here. But he is staying out for now. Gadowski, after the stop in the close battle with Caracas and Boothby right behind, around the space where Delphante should end up. Boothby a bit wide. But he is closing in on the Aston, the number 10, holding on to P7. A bit wide through Pouhon as well. Let's see it set up a little bit vulnerable throughout Vanier. That is an opening for Boothby. So that's not a move you see very often. Boothby getting up to P7, Gadowski down to 8th. Good move. A very beautiful one as well. Delphante currently in that second sector. Almost a lap ahead. Or should I say 2 sectors ahead. It's either got to go in now on this lap or the one after, which would be cutting it very, 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 very close. Some more fights here. Perez trying to defend P9. Still holds on side by side with Nowhere. We'll have the inside line for turn 1. A small tap on the straight. That's not something you want to see because that sometimes can lead to the biggest of incidents. Perez still holds on to the line. He's got a good exit. Gasquel's right behind. He's going to be happy with 2 cars in front of him fighting. We saw what happened with Sav. Perez ultimately losing out on the place. Gasquel with a good run. See if he can chip away a place or 2. Carcass, meanwhile, losing a place to Boothby as well. So Gasquel getting on through. That's on to Lecombe with the inside line. Perez breaking very, very deep. Have to compromise his speed to still make that corner. And Gasquel up to 10th place. Defante is in the pits. Has just entered the lane. We'll see where he ends up. That should be right around the battle. Right around Caracas and Boothby. This is where we're going to see the number 4 car exit. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. We'll have to wait and see how many points Defante can rack up. Because if he stays here, O'Sullivan's currently in 15th. And anything at all happens to Gasquel, that means that Defante will take the championship. And he'll have that in mind. Probably with those extra laps that he's done. As we see Ramonet chasing down the number 9 car. Stubenrauch looks to be for the podium, but it will be for net P2 if Delphante can't make it out in time. Is still stationary from the looks of it. Do so for a little while longer. It's a difference in pit time from a lot of these drivers. A lot of cars staying for just either a tiny bit longer or a tiny bit shorter. Delphante, let's see which one he chooses. Appears to be a little bit longer, as he is on his way out and has been overtaken. Let's see where he puts his car, and it will be right ahead of Fudge, who will have the speed to go past on the Camel Straight, but he is ahead ultimately of Boothby. That was the important bit. Defante staying out. And this is basically where Gasquel has to say, I am going to finish this race and I'm going to get this thing done, get my points, and get the championship. No flashy stuff like we're seeing here. Stubenrauch going defensive against Ramonet. I believe he might have had a small contact between the two. Try to see if I can pull that one up. There's been 2 of them. But the second one, of course, being the interesting one. A bit more contact as we head on. Ramonet. It's closing and closing in. Hard on the brakes. No way to get past the number 9. Just a little bit too quick. But good exit from the number 7. Onto Campus and onto Stavlo, and now the big straight, the big long straight, and every single bit of aerodynamic advantage that this Ferrari can get over the Mustang, who has the engine. Slipstream being taken away, and no doubt Ramonet's waiting for the bus stop. Will not want to give a send through Blanchimont. He's gonna look at it. I think just a little bit better of it. Fudge deep on the brakes. Gonna open up a line for Delphante to try something. Boothby is closing in as well. Caracas 7th out of last place. That's absolutely amazing. Delphante behind. Trying to send it on to Fudge with try. Looks to be succeeded. The door being wide open from the number 12. And Delphante up to 4th place. Gasquel has overtaken Neuwirth a little bit further behind as well. It's going to be 9th place for the number 2 car. And Fudge, maybe tactically, just letting Del Fonte past and knowing that he's going to have a good run onto Les Combes. Del Fonte has the inside, but the Honda backing out. And the position goes back to Fudge. Stuberhaug making a mistake, going off. And Ramanet finally going on through, which means that we'll have some time to look at the replay that we saw. And let's see if I can still spot it. It was this contact, I believe. And nope, was the contact before. I keep grabbing the wrong replays. There was some contact between the two. And Ramanet and Stuberhaug. Yeah, there it was. Small bit of contact. Both of them battling it out on track, fortunately. Which means that we have this whole run of cars. Stuberhaug leading Fudge, Del Fonte and Boothby, who's put himself in the mix. And this is for the final podium place, which is interesting. As I didn't think we'd see this coming. Towards the end of the race. 7 minutes to go. About 3 more laps, I'd say, that Wasner has before he crosses the line. He's got 6.5 seconds behind to Ramanet. Just cleared Stuberhaug and then absolutely sent it all the way gone. It's the white smear you see when we switch cameras. There he is onto the bus stop. 2 wide into 2 wide. Fudge being the one to send it. And then Boothby as well. Both of them momentarily gaining the place. Boothby and Fudge both appear to have it. Still inside lines. It's about a mimic move as you can get. Stuberhaug sending it quite deep. Fudge going for the switchback. Stuberhaug way too deep into the first turn. Boothby keeping the place. So does Fudge. Boothby taking another place. So the number 9 car drops down 2 places. Down to 5th. Del Fonte just losing 1. Doing a risky move going over Radion completely straight. Might be the thing that I said before. Just take the hit of the drive-through or of the warnings, because you can until you get the 3rd warning, and then you are on your last legs. You hit 1 more, it's a drive-through, and you're practically out of the race. Almost went 3 wide into Les Combes. We have the space. Unfortunately, these guys really know how to drive their cars, so they should all making it through safely. Boothby chasing up Fudge now. Stuberhaug, final adjustment on the line. Trying to trick Del Fonte into thinking, I am not going to defend. Sure, go ahead and attack, and then suddenly going for the defense. Same here for Fanye. Del Fonte sticking behind a little bit. Boothby ahead as well. Trying to fight through for that final podium spot. All this battling is dropping the back a little bit further behind Ramanet, which is able to pull on through. 3.5 seconds is the gap now to 2nd place. Same goes around here. Stuberhaug now just over a second behind Boothby. As we can see here, Del Fonte. It's got Caracas right behind. He's been joining the battle. Gaskell is going to be real close to Gadowski as Boothby takes away the place from Fudge. Gadowski still holding on to the place. Boothby not going defensive, still staying here. Stuberhaug and Del Fonte just going a little bit on exchanging positions. Gaskell has got the outside as Gadowski decides to defend. We'll keep the line for now, but the outside line gives you a little bit more momentum. And Gaskell completely ahead as they approach No Rouge and Radion. Gadowski is almost looking to lose another position to Neuwirth. So going on to the Kemmel Straight. Front row seats for Gaskell to a battle behind. Hopefully it's going to stay a battle behind. Skadowski is looking for something, but then loses the place to the car behind. That was too deep of a scent to try anyway. Gaskell getting 8th place. 1 position behind Caracas. This would have been the decider if not for some unfortunate incidents earlier on today as we are approaching our final lap. Wasner cleanly driving through the first half of the race and then continuing on after stopping the second half. Quite well done as well. In this 3-way battle now. For P5, positions for podiums have been pretty locked. Boothby is 2.5 ahead of Foch. It's going to need something short of a miracle or a mistake to lose that place. Ramanet comfortably in 2nd. Wasner leading the race. Del Fonte dropping back 1 place. Caracas goes on through, attacking his teammate now. Stubenbrouwer not going too defensive. That's Caracas up 2 places. Del Fonte and Gaskell are just separated by 1 position. Though Sullivan nowhere to be found, currently in 6th place. Don't think he'll be getting back into the high points scoring positions. Caracas going quite quickly, trying to drop his teammate behind. Del Fonte struggling a little bit, trying to keep up with these two. Of course, it's the Mustang. Great power out of turn 1 makes this all possible. Most likely in the voice chat, just not wanting to give anything up, telling each other to stay safe, no contact, clean racing. That's the final lap. Will be concluded after 2 more sectors. The first race winner, Sam Gaskell, 8th place from 15th. Right behind him, Noworth getting within that second as Gaskell is dropping back a tiny bit. Caracas from last place did a good job on qualifying for race number 1. An unfortunate incident put him in 30th after a pit stop. He's recovered back to 5th. That's on merit from last to 5th. Within 10 seconds of the lead. Almost within 10 seconds of the lead of the race. That's one remarkable accomplishment, I should say. A few more retirements. See Cruton and Escortia in the pits as well. 25 cars still on the grid. So 5 cars that have left. Wasner taking the victory on race number 2. Ramanet in 2nd. Boothby taking 3rd place. Foch crosses the line now in 4th, leading Caracas. And then Stubenbrouwer, Del Fonte, Gaskell, Neuwirth, and Gadowski. And I believe that with this finish, we can now crown Sam Gaskell as our champion. I haven't confirmed the math yet, but I don't think I need to. The only ones he was fighting were Del Fonte, who finished 1 position ahead, and that's not worth 212 points. No Sullivan all the way down in 22nd. It's going to be crossing the line in a few moments' time. Gaskell with the victory donuts. Pretty sure he knows. Pretty sure he's happy with it as well. That is race 1, number 1, and race 2, number 8. Gonna earn him enough points to take the championship and get it all done. Gaskell, the most points over the season. And that's not counting the drop rounds, because I'm not sure if they have been or not. We'll have to do a double check at that in a few moments' time. But I believe that this is it. and there's nothing else anything can do about it. Gaskell getting quite a few victories to his name, and then some. Should see if we can get some interviews done with a few drivers, and maybe we'll get some views, some insights on the races. Gonna have to look at the Discord for that one to see if there are people waiting or not. If anything, we should have Gaskell waiting. Let's see if I can find the voice channels. Currently no one in that waiting room. So we're just going to be waiting a few more moments. See if anyone joins or not. See if the results from the race 1 are up. Or if that has not been... Nope, of course, that has not been done. That is my fault. We're not changing that before, so the race 1 results have not gone in. What we do have is a UCOG. We have Boothby in the waiting room, so we're going to drag him in real quick for that 3rd place for the final race. Boothby, welcome.
Hello.
Congratulations on P3, and of course, congratulations to your teammate as well for, I believe, what is the championship.
Yeah, he's absolutely smashed it this season. I'm so happy for him. He has been a beast.
I will have to ask one thing, though, before we get into your view of the race. I have to ask one quick thing. And were there any team orders in race 1 for keeping the guys behind, keeping O'Sullivan behind? Because you guys had 1, 2, and 3 completely locked out.
We had team orders to just try and do really good in quali. And the joke was to basically, if we can get top 3... it would be pretty cool, right? Because we can help Sam, especially if Sam is the first car. And it happened! So, yeah, we didn't really have any team orders apart from just don't attack each other and just do what we can. And it worked perfectly for us.
See, the rest has joined the voice chat as well. Gaskell and Wasner also welcome into the booth. Unsure if that should be happening or not, but we have it right now. Gaskell, congrats on the championship. How does that feel?
Good. Definitely relieving, that's for sure. I mean, especially that 2nd race as well. That was one of the most hectic races I've done for a long time.
Yeah, there was a big incident up on Eau Rouge. We watched it live. Couldn't find the replay, unfortunately. Just cut off after. I think it was Sav who just completely shoved off some of the cars. And Wasner, of course, congratulations on the race 2 victory.
Thank you. Hello.
It was a quite hectic one, but I mean, I guess it's appropriate to close off a hectic race with a hectic combox. Let's go Wasner first. How was your 2nd race?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think I went through the traffic at the start very good. And then I decided to not change my tires, and I profited a lot that Ramonet and Stubenrauch were fighting. I wouldn't have held P1 if they weren't fighting.
No, it was quite a good choice then, because you won by about 4 seconds. That is exactly a tire change of a win. So that's a nice job done. How scary was it that looking at the relative that you saw Caracas joining up in the top 5?
For me?
Yeah, in general, I saw Caracas. He started last, and then all the way he was up into P5 in the final 5 to 10 minutes.
No, I've just looked at Ramonet and Justin, and I saw that they were fighting, and then there was a 4-way fight with Delfante, and I thought it was pretty relaxing to see they were fighting, all the 4 guys.
Well, that's always a good thing, fighting behind you. Right, so yeah, that's the race victory. Unsure where you finished in the standings overall, but it's of course 1 under your belt. And then we go to our the main winner man here, Gaskell. Were you doing some mental math halfway through the race? Like, I need to be this position. Oh, Caracas is here. I need to be this position. O'Sullivan dropped back. I need to be this position. Or was it all just try and go as fast as possible?
Well, I mean, after the first race, I don't know what happened, but he got binned off. I think it might have been a self-murder or something like that on lap 1. But pretty much, I think what it was if he was to win the first race and I was to finish P2, I'd have to finish at least P13 if he was to win it. If he was to win the second race. So when I saw I was P1 with both my teammates behind me and him back in P5, I was quite relaxed. And honestly, my luck for disconnects, especially around Spa, is pretty bad. So I was keeping my fingers crossed. But as soon as Grantas got knocked out in that first race, the second race was all about just finishing, and it was hectic to say the least. But we got it done, and yeah, super relieving, and I'm super happy.
I wanted to call the championship after a few laps already, but then I saw Delphante climb, I saw Caracas climb, I saw O'Sullivan a little bit further behind, and Delphante actually stayed out very long and went in very late, and it profited quite well. I think he finished in the top 5. And I was almost going to call the championship yours, but then I realized if you do have a disconnect or anything else happens, you would lose the championship. So I was just holding it to the final lap, absolutely final moments, until you crossed the line, and then it was actually yours. So congrats on the win.
I think it was Delphante that won if I'd
yes.
if I'd disconnected because the DC in the first one. So
if my math is correct, yes, he would have had it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's done, and I'm happy. So.
As you should be. Any plans for next season?
Not sure. I'm currently dabbling on some other sims at the moment, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, the Ford might not be my pick next season, so we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely a strong choice for the car, as we saw today as well. So yeah, congratulations, and I'll move you all back to the waiting room. So and hopefully we'll get to see you again next season.
Yeah, I'll do. Bye. Thank you.
All right, that's it for the interviews. And that being said, I want to thank you all so much for joining us here at Lofi Motorsport. Season 18 has just done a wrap on the Pro Series. And the final man you heard just now, Sam Gaskell, taking the victory in the first race of the final round, and then also the victory of the entire championship as a whole. If you want to join us, you can go to lowfuelmotorsport.com, sign up your account. Next season will be starting in just a few weeks. You can get your hands on your rig and also on the competition, and you can join these fellas in some beautiful, beautiful racing. If you have enjoyed today, be sure to drop a follow on Twitch or a subscription on YouTube. You can do both as well to stay up to date with all the other streams and broadcasts that are happening on the platform. Of course, lowfuelmotorsport.com for racing, and of course you can see the list as well of drivers that joined these races. You can go on to the entry list and see who signed up, to see if your favorite driver is driving, and you can go onto the streams and watch it all live. That being said, I've been Olaf, AQ Racing. I have been your commentator for tonight, and I'll be very proud to close off this season and tell you all goodbye and into the next one.